Hello, family. Welcome. Thank you again for joining. Excitement in the air. I don't know where to start from because the joy is like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm reaching another top. Oh, yeah. Thank you. And whoever is joining us for the first time, stay tuned. Find out what we are doing here, my sister and myself. Shout out to our family, new family members joined us yesterday from Zambia, another one from Panama. For some reason, we did not get to say hi, but it was so excitement having you. At least good night to our sister Vavine. Thank you, my sister M. Kelly. Good morning, Canada. Good morning, or no, good evening, actually, to Dilip. And of course, everybody, thank you for joining another exciting, beautiful day. Today we continue, even though the excitement, all that we have seen at the back office, we'll go into the nitty gritties of that at 4 p.m. But then today we continue with the journey. This is a question that the answers are never getting finished. Why unpassive? So my sister and myself are here today to tell you to continue the discussion of yesterday. Yesterday was a paradigm shift for teachers, a new way of doing stuff, working smart and earning much and still doing, even being more productive. And of course, today we want to look how OnPassive brings total solution for both students and graduates. Oh, sis, welcome.
Thank you very much, Sister Comfort. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again. For those who are new, like my sister said, welcome, welcome, welcome. For those who have been joining us, Sister Vavin, go and sleep, rest. We want you to
You
be in
don't
good
sleep
health.
when things are
Where,
happening, when your room is
where,
on fire. You can't sleep.
I know
No,
you can't sleep, but you need to put out the fire. This fire cannot be put out, so you might as well as just go and sleep and rest yourself.
no
You know,
way.
that kind of thing. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for those who have subscribed. For those who are yet to subscribe, consider doing so. Hit the notification bell and join in the conversation. Let us know what you think about this topic. Let us know what you have seen as well, from where you are coming from any experience that you have that is related to this topic, and still get excited about what is happening in the back office.
Oh yes, guys. We can't ignore the fact that our back office is full of. Oh my God, I can't imagine. We're just working hard to hold ourselves together because we will not discuss that. However, let's know how you feel about the message at the OES at the back office, the pop up, the new pop up. Is it popping your brains? What picture are you painting of the new top? Well, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Mufara is unpredictable. All I know is that it's going to be wow, wow, wow,
Wow,
because
wow.
if it's not wow, it's not on passive and it's not ash. Yeah. So let's go from here, guys. So when we start this, we always like to take a step back and go home first, really quick, back home. There are times you have men and women 25, 30, they still live with mom and dad, sharing the same building, the same roof.
Mm.
Yes, it's not. It's a very very common thing back home. Sometimes you get married, you have a wife and children, and you still share a common roof with mom and dad for obvious reasons. You graduate from school, you go sometimes up to the master's degree, you come back. There's no job. There's nothing to do. There's not even a bit of money like this, tiny bit of money like this to start off a business. But then you are getting older and older, wrinkles are showing up and stuff like that, but you still
Wrinkly.
remain mom and dad's boy or girl, right?
Mm.
Why? Because it's obvious. No jobs, no money to start off a business. And what happens? Why are we telling you about this? Mr. Mufare makes it possible. So there is room here. Students who are still studying, they're still in the university, those who are already graduates and stuff and everything, there's everything hanging at the back at the OES at the unpassive ecosystem waiting for you. That is, listen, the pearls are already there. You listen what we said the other day, that is your oyster. The pearls are already sitting there waiting for you. Go there and get any color you want or as many colors as you want. They are all yours. So sis,
Thank you very much for saying that, because that brings us back to where we are coming from. The oyster is there, our oyster. Okay, the pearls are there. And then those of you that are students, do you know, funny enough, you have UK opening its borders to students in the last couple of months, especially this
Mhm.
year. There's a reason for that, isn't it? And for them to come and study, and then now initially they could bring in their spouses and their family, and now they can't bring them in again. They've stopped that. Can you
Oh.
imagine what will happen with Academy or Connect? Then
Mhm.
students don't need to travel anymore, do they? They don't need to
No.
travel. They don't need to travel anymore. Then take, for example, the ones that are student right now, or the ones that are wanting to go further and study. You understand me? Not only will they not need to travel, but they can have an affiliate account. You understand me?
Mm.
Such that whatever it is that their need is as relating to that studying online, they can use whatever resources that come out from that affiliate account to sort themselves out. So, which means one, there's a reduction in people traveling. If they have to travel, sometimes with open university, you can do it here in the UK, and they will say, "Oh, you need to come maybe once or twice in 1 month," that kind of thing. So, if they do travel, to be very reduced or probably eradicated completely. Take that, put
Mm.
that aside, which means they have more money to spend. Then take at the also when it comes to them, here you say there's accommodation, you need to look. Even in Nigeria, you need to look for accommodation, you need to pay for your hostels. If you don't
Mhm.
get hostels, then you need to go and rent. So that will be
Definitely.
negated as well, that will be reduced. So you will travel. If you choose to travel, it will be probably reduced as relating to education. Or if you do travel and you don't need to travel as relating to education, it will be for leisure. That means, like, I want to see the world, that kind
Yep.
of thing. I want to see what's happening in the world. I don't just want to sit in the four corners of where I was born and bred, and, die in wherever I was born. You just want to see some other things that, some other nations that God has created, and, admire and give praise to God for it. So
Mhm.
it's very important that, those that are wanting to study and are currently studying, look into unpassive as well, look into being an affiliate as well. For those who have already graduated as well, sister Comfort, I know we've talked about this, but can you
Mhm.
imagine? We still have student loans. Parents have student loans because they
Mhm.
studied. There will be no issue of student loan. You understand me? Even the back home where parents, they don't have anything like student loan. They have the bank. Your parents will have to have a collateral to put down for the bank to be able to borrow them money for your university fees. They call
Mhm.
it university fees loan. You won't need to do that. And then sometimes some people don't even have access to that because some students are orphans, or they don't have, their parents don't have enough money. They have to go from one relative to another. And you see those kind of things happen, such that some relatives can be so mean, they will abuse your mom, your dad, their generations, every before they give you the money. That kind of thing. I've seen that happen. And some we even want to sleep with their relations,
Hmm.
which is very bad, just for them to get the little that they are wanting to help them with. It's very important. So for those of our students, our children that are back in Africa, I'm telling you, they can go on academy. They don't need to. So far, those qualifications are recognizable all over the world. Then it's a game changer. Then they don't
Mhm.
need to leave Africa if they don't need to. It will also help, like we said yesterday, we cut down on the drainage of our African brains,
Yep.
all over
Yep.
Europe and the Western world, apart from Africa. you know
Exactly. I know what this means, and my sister Marcienne is here. She's confirming because we know how all these things happen. We know what our parents do go through, right? So one of the good things here is I started off with the idea of us being burdened. Sometimes it's acceptable for a child studying being a burden on the parents' shoulders, right? But then at some level, if they're in a university and if they can do a few jobs and pay for their tuition, that can be something. Those are
yes.
things that are rare. They don't happen in the part of the world where we come from. But
Mm,
as it stands, because back home, we are trained to grow and take care of your parents and the elderly people and so on and all of those things. The good news here is that with unpassive, right, you are no longer a burden to your parent, because sometimes I am a good example. There was some time because I was raised by my aunt and her husband. At some point the husband died. My aunt was still a very young person, I had to leave my room to move into my friends so that we share the rents. That's not what you want. You want your convenience. You don't only want a room of your own, but you want a comfortable room. Sometimes some families who are rich can afford a room that is self-contained. You have the toilets, all of those things and stuff. But others, they have something that is like kind of, it's an eyesore. But then you just want your thing is that big picture. I just want to get the degree so that I go on and on and on and on. But then the good news here is you can afford that kind of accommodation, that student room, whether in the hostel or you rent somewhere in the downtown and stuff. You will pay from your pocket. You pay for your tuition. You pay even. I remember when we were doing it, like when you do the languages in the early years, those who school studied before us, maybe the 70s and to the late early 90s. Those who did the bilingual series in my country, like we did, those who
Mm,
studied French would
mm,
go to England for 9 months. Those who
mm.
studied English would go
To
to
go to
France for nine
France.
months. But during our time,
Mm,
that opportunity was not there again. So we were sent,
mm,
I was English speaking, my background was English, but they sent me to do an immersion, French immersion program in an English speaking town. There was
mm,
somebody who came with us. He did not have money to just for transportation and stuff like that. He had to beg for room. That we who came from that city, please, can you just find somewhere for me? It's just, I'm just trying to paint a picture for us to know what students are going through. So when you see anybody with just share, talk to students about unpassive, because you have no idea what they are going through. You know,
mm,
I would be happy in our days if we could have on passive. I would say I'll pay myself and sponsor myself for a 9 month immersion program in France and
mm,
not to the city where I grew up in. Because when
mm,
I go there, I'll not even just speak English, I'll be speaking pidgin because that's home. It's a joke. But because you can't afford, you just go with what you have. But the opportunity is here. Even after your first degree, you want to still get that immersion program. You can apply for it and go to France and go to Canada and go to Belgium, or you come to England if you are French speaking. Here I'm addressing people, yeah, but then we know it's going everywhere. People can put your situation and let's know what happens in your own part of the world, in your country. These are things that we need to know, because when you choose to study these things, because you love it, you really want to do it and you want to get it right into the depth of it. But then there is no money, there's no funding and stuff like that. You are just stuck where you are and you end up frustrated. You are like, my dreams are shattered. Even the little I have, it can't take me to anywhere and stuff like that. And it's really, really frustrating, so bad. But then every child, by child here I mean from the teenagers to up to 21, 22, where we graduate from the university, you would like to just be a person of your own, paying for your tuition, paying for everything, just buying the kind of food you like. I don't want to go into those because, oh my God, I know
mm.
I was very, very, very creative. There was some particular cream like it was this tiny and a glycerin. I would buy those two. The both of them would cost me 500 francs. And I told myself this is going to go on for 3 months. So I had to, carefully touch it in such a way that it goes on for that long, guys.
You
Not you have,
budgeting. That was some
yes, budgeting.
stringent budgeting.
Yes. Oh
Yes,
yeah.
I
So we
know.
would
I
wait.
know what you
Yes,
are talking about.
all of those things. You need to feel good because studying has a lot to do with your mental capacity, with your mental health.
Us
If you
as
are
well.
mentally not sound, the rest of it is just a waste of time. When you share a classroom with somebody whose child is a minister or those people out there, they dress well, they eat good food, they eat in the restaurant, they live where they walk in smelling good, and you look the way you already feel defeated. But this is that opportunity where everything you get is genuine. And listen, everything feels so different. See, take this mic off me before you go here without saying anything because
You know me, I'll just keep
yes.
quiet. It is very important. I understand, and I know your passion, because it reminds me of back in my days as well. Just like you're saying, those that studied languages were supposed to be sent to France for them to complete their degree. But most students that did not have money for that trip, that was the end of it. Okay, take
Yes.
for example secondary schools back in Africa. For those who go to secondary schools, maybe the international schools, or their parents are really rich, they do what we call here student exchange, don't they? But in Nigeria, they do it, they call it school excursions, isn't it? But if
Mm-hmm.
your
We have
parent
it
is
too.
not rich, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot go.
You
So
can't.
you can't see the world either. You
Yes.
can't learn
What is it?
anything. I
Minus seeing what is a geography student going through education without going out
That
for those
when
excursions?
exactly
Others are
excursions,
going
no
and sit and
excursions,
watch. Yep.
because your parents don't have money. That's the end of it. Every time there's an excursion, you are the one that is left behind. Everyone you are sitting behind, or on that day you will study that your brain will become very hot. That kind of thing. So I
Yes.
know, I know the procedure. That kind of thing. So they will leave you
Yeah.
in the class. You
Mm.
all the subjects that everybody's on excursion, but you are the only one, maybe two or three of you, that your parents didn't have enough money. You sit down in the class there and study maths, everything that can be studied that day. And then
Yep.
teachers will send you on errand, go and do this, go and buy me this, go and buy me
Mm.
that. It's even worse if you're in a boarding school, because at the end
Oh
of
yeah.
the day, they will tell you of all the kinds of things that you can do. They will use you like, tire, flat tire. You become flat by the time all of them come and start saying, oh, this is what happened, this is what we did on our trip,
I
this is
know
what
that you are
happened
so,
on that trip. Then you
that's
cannot
so
you cannot
true,
see
guys.
anything, you cannot do anything, you cannot even say anything. It's like you keep,
Exactly.
in your head you are thinking, okay, all right, thank
Yeah.
you. If you have a friend amongst them, then they get you something. That enough is demoralizing for a child, to be honest,
Hmm.
because that
Exactly.
child is looking at the opportunity. And I've always said this, Sister Comfort, there is an education that a child has when they travel out of where they have been living or when
Uh-huh.
they were born, that the classroom cannot give to that child. I'm
Oh yeah.
telling you. The
Oh yeah.
classroom cannot give it to that child, because what that child will learn while they're on that trip, on that holiday, on that excursion, or whatever
Yes.
it is, money cannot buy it, and the
Money can't
classroom
buy.
cannot give it
That's
to you,
very true. Yeah.
because that child, it will stay with that child forever. That kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing. So
You
it's
know,
in it. Hmm. Continue,
yeah,
yes.
it is in this. Sorry, I was trying to let me read a few contributions because people are relating to this, right? My sister Amina says, "I can't wait to go to my country, Somaliland, and show them God chose me to be a founder of OnePassive." Yes, of course, yes, yes. I think I agree with you 100% because I'm saying that what is the population of the world is about in the 5 billions upwards or about that number. Why is it that we are just 1.4? Because we were carefully selected by God, and I believe that
Hmm.
the mission shall be accomplished through us. That's very true. And then Dilip says, within the family bonding environment, of course, children will be able to complete their academic studies through academy. I can
Yes,
relate to
definitely.
that. We'll discuss
Yeah.
more of the bonding on Friday. I can't
Oh,
wait, right?
oh, that one's a good one.
Yes.
This one,
And
we are not gonna let the cat out of the bag for this one. Make
oh,
sure you
I
don't say
feel
anything.
it. Shut up. So listen, my sister Praveen says, I can relate my sisters, Fumi and Comfort. I just had to leave college early to work to support that with. Yeah, no. The struggle was real.
Yes, that's
And
a
the
real
best, the
struggle.
last sentence is what carries it all home. The world is our oyster now. So now we can adopt a whole boarding school right now. See, I know the sweetness about this adopting a boarding school thing, it no
Yes,
longer lies in the hands of Vavine, but in the hands of 1.4.
four.
You don't need
Yes.
to contribute much.
Mm-hmm.
1.4 of us, we just give $1, $10 each.
Mm-hmm.
And that school is going to be totally
Well
transformed, and children
equipped.
will be given a life. And even some who never had an opportunity will be part of it. And
Mm.
listen, just close your eyes and think about this. So it's a kind of team thing, it's a family thing, and the passion is real. When you imagine what we can do, and because there are no boundaries, guys,
Mm.
it is real. So again, this is not entertainment. If you are
Mm.
joining us and you are a student, or your child is a student, or you are a graduate, the time is now, the place is here. Check out.
Or they know some that are graduates.
Yes, or
Speak to them.
graduates anywhere, get them to listen to this. Please do not share without a link, then it's not worth it, because what we are doing is trying to present an opportunity to people who are struggling, right? So if you know a graduate and you are sharing, get a link. walk them through the registration process, let them have a look by themselves, and then help them to sign up. Because for you to be able to make something, you want to sign up to become an affiliate, and then you leave the rest for the marketing department to do the marketing campaign, to close the sales and do all of those things. So you can't afford not to be part of this, except that you just enjoy complaining. See, before I hand over the mic to you, there's this thing I want to point out to. Because back in my country, I don't know about Nigeria, I don't know about your country, please tell us in the chat. Back home, it doesn't end at this. When you graduate, you live with mom until when you're up to some age. I think, I don't know whether it's
About to
22.
no till you marry.
Now listen, that's not what I'm saying. Sis, wait, hold on. So when you get to some age, you say you have attained the age limit, and so you cannot go in for some competitive exams, some public, like entrance into the police, entrance into the teacher
Yes,
training
it's
college,
age bound.
entrance into
Age
this.
bound.
You Yeah, so the age you've got to that age limit, so everything is just gray. Everything's dark in front of you. There's just no life, because you struggle until what you go through before completing graduating from the university. You stay here, there is no job, and at some point, because it's not like you are not trying, you really try every day. If your mom and your dad is not a minister, they are not in politics, or you don't have an uncle who has a friend who has an uncle who has a neighbor who is in politics, you don't go to do certain things. That is why I could not do mine. I could never practice, because I could never go into the school that I wanted to, because I'm a child of a nobody. We don't have politicians in our family. So I can't bribe. There are just two things: either your parents are politicians, or you bribe, and you bribe well. All of those gone. ONPASSIVE is here to correct the corruption, and ONPASSIVE has solution for everybody. So don't look at your age anymore. It is a new dawn. You are just graduating from the university now, because whatever you can do, whatever you want to do, the opportunity is waiting for you in our ecosystem. Just knock. The knocking just means using your phone and scanning any QR code you see in front of you, or just using your thumb to click on any link you see in front of you. Sign up, go out there, see whatever you see, ask for questions, ask for help people to sign up, guys. Let's make this happen. Help as many people as you can. Give them a link, sign up, and we move on together. And of course, it's better, success is better when we have it as us. Then we can have somebody to rejoice with.
Collective.
Yes, collective Dankeschön, that's a word. So I'm happy here because I'm with my sister. We will
Mm,
do crazy stuff
I'm
together.
telling
If
you.
I'm doing and she's left behind, or if she's gone, I'm left behind, there's no fun. That's why
Mm.
we can't keep it to ourselves. And that's the only reason we share, because the job of sharing is not ours. The marketing department is there doing it from the most professional perspective. However, we need to take it right to mouth to ear to our families, and the time is actually just now. Sis, you go ahead. Thank you. Do you want to unmute yourself though?
Oh, sorry. There was there was one thing that came to my mind. When you go to this, you see what you are saying is exactly the same in Nigeria. Exactly the same. I don't want to talk about myself, but do you know what came to my mind as you were talking? Do you know there's some schools that, most schools in Africa are private schools and they are paid for and parents have to pay.
Oh yeah.
Even in those private schools, even when parents can manage to pay for school fees, school excursions where they go on school trip. Back here in the UK, we say, oh, the children are going on school trip, then they go on school trip, and then it's paid for either by the government or the local government. But in Nigeria and in Africa generally, except the parents of those children can afford that school trip, that child is not going to go. So can
Mm,
you imagine organizing a school trip whereby we pick on those that their parents cannot afford to send those children? They don't have the extra. They've managed to pay school fees. It's like, oh, thank goodness for that, and they've managed to pay the school fees. But when it comes to excursions and all the extracurriculars, they cannot afford it. And then pay for those children and they don't even know where the money is coming from. And the children go on excursion. You see,
uh-huh.
it enlightens the mind of the children. And I know you also mentioned something. I'm beginning to see that also here in the UK, because I've come to realize, based on being exposed to our children going to university,
Mm.
that student loan is student loan, but when it comes to accommodation and maintenance is income based. So that means if your parents are earning to a certain extent, you will not get enough, which
Yes.
means even the students here in the UK still have to work many a times. Not all of them, some of them
Yes.
have to work, some of them don't need the work, because if their parents are not earning so much, then they get majority of their maintenance, of their housing,
Mm.
covered. But for those that their parents earn enough, and you don't forget comfort, even when you earn enough, it's still not
What
enough
is
to
it?
go around.
What is enough?
Exactly, there is not enough. So that
Yes.
means that child still needs to study
Yeah.
and go to work. And see, most of our children here in the UK were not built like that, but they are having to step in and do that, because many of them
Mm.
have to take on extra work. They're allowed to work 20 hours or more anyway, that kind of thing. So if they are a student, you work 20 hours. If you're on holiday, you can work a bit longer. So they're having to work as well. But can you imagine, instead of doing that work, you have your affiliate account? When instead, I'm not saying don't go to do that work, but if you have affiliate account, why do you need to go and work? Because that is your business working out for you. So if you need your maintenance money and it's not enough, or your accommodation is not enough, because in the UK they only take them for 1 year. Most universities will take them for only 1 year in the hostels, and then after that they chuck them out and tell them, go and look for your own accommodation by yourself. By now you should have settled in and know your terrain properly. So that means you need to go and do that. And so if your maintenance money from student finance is not even enough, you still need to go and work. So instead of working, why don't you sign up for an affiliate account, so that way whatever is not enough, you can add it from that end. It's very important,
Exactly.
you
I
know
know.
whether you're
Yeah.
business minded or not. Because I've met some students say, oh man, I don't. I said, no, 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 this is not a business that you is
Hands
what do you call it?
free.
It's hands free. Just listen to me, listen to the videos, watch what you need to watch, and you will realize that this is not a business that you need to scrape your neck and saliva talk to
Exactly.
your blue in the face. Nothing like that.
Exactly. I like this one from our sister Marcia. And when you speak from the source, the weight is different. The opportunity is here and now with Unpassive. Let's give our parents a break. I think I love this. I love this. So they have really tried indeed, because the much that we acquired to where we are, that was enough, because we saw what they went through. The sweat and sweat, they had to sweat, just to get us to where we are now. And the good news is, you can always begin from wherever. But if you are still in the classroom, this is you. If you have just graduated, or you graduated, I don't care how many years ago, listen. As far as Unpassive is here, then you can always start it all over again and make it 100%. 100%. That is just it. So, like we said, don't take this for granted. If you are listening for the first time, there is a QR code. Just looking, check my Facebook page and other many others. Check the link. Check if you see even somebody who's commenting here and saying things that you find them interesting. It means that you can go after that person and say, you said this, can you tell me more, because I want to have a look at what you are talking about. I know that everybody who is here that is part of our passive is always happy to help. Guys, get a link, help someone, let them join this train, and let's ride on together. It's a very happy thing to do, a very sweet and blessing to actually to be able to do this to people. So guys, before we round up, we just want to let you know that as it stands, since I think we've worked hard today, because I'm not sure we're too excited, even though there's a lot of excitement, right?
I
As it
was, yes,
stands,
actually. I
as
had
it
to calm
stands,
myself down before we
the,
started.
the month of June, I think the
It's
prayer we prayed
pregnant.
was,
It's
it works. The
pregnant.
month
It's
of
pregnant.
June is
Pregnant.
red hot. Listen, because we are going commercial. Going
Mm.
commercial means business has started.
Started.
So if you were waiting for now, because I'm not sure there's any human being on planet Earth who has never heard about Unpassive. If you were waiting for now, then the time is now. Go ahead and click on that link and sign up. go ahead and scan on that QR code. The link will appear at the top of your phone. Tap on it, sign up, and join this movement and have the fun, fun, fun. And then I want to appreciate a few people. I've just seen a few people join into my this thing, into the ecosystem. So when you join, you are strong. It is strongly recommended. It's an advert. You have a choice though, because with Unpassive, you don't have to. What we present here is the opportunity, but then you choose. We are just helping you to make an informed decision. So if you choose not to, you know that I know it's there, but I don't want. Or if you choose to, you say, yeah, I've listened to it and I love it. But then if you really want to, like if you are joining this because you want to get some income, to make some income, if you are joining because you want to improve on your business, or to you want an opportunity to start off a new business, because if you don't have one, Unpassive creates it for you. If that's what you are here to do, then when you sign up, either by clicking on the QR code, or clicking on the link and signing, make sure you look at the top, if it's on the laptop or anywhere on your device, where they say become an
An
affiliate. Make
affiliate.
sure you click on that legal document, read through it. That is the non-disclosure agreement. You read through that carefully and then sign at the bottom, and then check the two boxes and submit. That is when you will be expecting. That is when you will be smiling like my sister and myself. That is when you will be waiting for whatever is happening in June, so that you start. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm.
guys, the opportunity is here, but then choice whether to be part of it or not remains yours. So we just present it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So that's how where I'm stopping now, sis. Over to you.
I just wanted to read something from Diana. It says,
Okay.
"Hello, I gifted an affiliate position to my nephew who graduated from my school 2 weeks ago." That is what we're talking about. That
Perfect.
is what we
Perfect.
are. That is the right example, Diana. Please
Thank you, sis.
take a cue from our sister. If you know any, whether from your family, sign them on. The ones that cannot afford to, because we don't know yet what they, when O Connect and the products are released, they have to pay for those products just like everybody else. If they cannot, then this is where you help them. But
Yeah.
start gifting an affiliate position when you can. If you
Sure.
see a graduate, whether where you're resident in, I mean, living back home, start doing that right away, because this is what they need. This is
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
actually need. It's going to
Indeed.
help them in their future, and then it's going to also help our countries, our nation, and our
Oh, yeah.
continent as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, sis, I'm sorry, guys. If you can wait with us, we just want to read this. There's a lot of very useful comments here. We can let's just randomly pick a few. I think this is still the Olive you read. This is Olive you read from. She says, "Why
Yes.
on passive? No other, because no other company has ever put humanity at the forefront of their vision. My life and the life of others will change because of unpassive. Even better education." Thank you, sis. There's no better way of saying this. You know what makes this whole show a full package, or the reality of it, is the fact the comments you get from our family add to what me and my sister are saying. So if you can't get much from us, read through the comments and just sort yourself out. Choice is yours whether to be part of this or not. So that's it. Hi, Greg, my brother. Good morning. He says he just got up, and of course he's watching us while getting something to eat. This is good breakfast from us. Thank you, bro. Yes. Okay, far out, sis. I forgot there. 1.4 million of us, of course, true meaning of creating heaven on earth. That's true, sis. I think we can I think we can safely say that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Go ahead. You got from our brother. Go ahead, sis. Oh, she's muted. My own sister is muted.
Most parents' dreams and desires will be materialized through academy without any hassle.
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. So this is Mercy and Sister Comfort. I'm a great example of that. I've sold all kinds of stuff to buy my book for school back home. I sold
Hmm.
guavas. You connect like guayab. I sold
You
guavas. I carried
at
them
least you
there. I,
at least you and Mama Maxine saw something. I didn't know how to sell
yes.
anything, but I knew how to
No.
sing. So
I mean, selling
I
them means
joined the
hawking. Yes,
yes.
I hawked guavas, I hawked peanuts. We call them groundnuts back home. So when I got to the teenage age, my aunt
Me was
stopped me.
singing. I would go and join a, like a traditional, they call it, is it a choral group,
Yeah.
and then you go and sing at big people's parties, and then when
Uh-huh.
they give us money, they give you little money, then you used to buy your books, buy
Oh yeah.
shoes, buy
So
this, buy that,
we used to have like during the 90-day vacation, my
Mm,
aunt would buy a small safe. So each
mm,
time I go and sell guavas or peanuts
mm,
notes,
mm.
the profit I made on that day,
You
I'll
put
put
it
it in
there
that
for you.
safe. And then at the end of the holiday, the holidays now, she would break it open
Mm,
and get
mm,
these guys who were selling second-hand books. That was good job. I love these guys. They
mm,
really did help.
mm,
So
mm,
she goes to them, take my
mm,
books of last year, add to the money that came out of the safe, and
mm.
then go to these guys, make an exchange, and get me books for the next
Well,
year. This is
that's
not,
good.
I cannot pay my aunt for this. I can't, to be
Mm,
honest. And so our sister Kido says, the tuition fees we are paying for our two daughters at the university are ridiculous. I think, see, she's confirming with what you said earlier. So
yes,
those are the things that
it's not a
that's
joke
what we're
at all.
fighting. It doesn't
Mm,
have to be like that. Yes,
mm.
it doesn't have to be like that. So yes, yes, yes. Oh my God! Which since we just appreciate everybody, and we don't want to keep a lot of people waiting. But then, believe me, yes, yes, we appreciate all the comments. Whoever is watching, make use of the comment section. Read through them. Very useful information, very helpful information, because what they are saying, of course, adds to what we are saying, and that's when it finally makes sense to you. Don't be shy. Don't doubt. Reach out to any of us, either two of us sitting here or those on the chat. Reach out to them and ask, find out for more. Meanwhile, sis, do you want to announce tonight the show for tonight?
Yes, we are having a show tonight, so make sure you come at 7. No, oh, it's 4 p.m. Eastern time, which means in the UK 9 o'clock, as in PM. Convert
Yeah,
it, asking Google. Don't miss it.
yeah,
So whatever it is, make sure you try and join us. Get your popcorn and get excited
yes,
as well. And get yourself a drink. Don't choke on your popcorn.
yes. What we're doing tonight is just sharing the excitement and
Mm,
touching word for word what is happening in our OES,
mm,
the info, the pop up. We are going to be actually studying, I don't know, studying, analyzing the pop ups, and then guessing, and then warming up for the new
mm.
top, guys. Listen, this is crazy. So you
Just,
can't afford
just,
not to be part
just
of this.
preempting
Yeah,
and
no,
getting
yeah.
excited.
I'm guessing, yeah, I'm getting excited, and we just paint any picture of the new top that we're expecting, and then make it real for us, and then we dance and dance. But then Ash comes and brings us something totally well. Oh my God, So it's just all fun, guys. It's all fun. Let's try to be there. All right, sis. I think it's time to
We
go.
need to write
Thank you, our sister Lucy. She finds
Lucky.
that
Lucky.
powerful, and of
Is it
course,
Lucy or
if you
Lucky?
can, kindly share this, because this is opportunity, guys. Share
Mm,
it, subscribe if you haven't yet. We thank many thanks to
mm,
those who have been faithfully visiting this platform to
mm,
support us. And
mm.
thank you for all forms of support, the moral support, everything all put together. You are a mighty, wonderful family to us. See you in the evening.
Thank you. Get excited, everyone. If you have not checked your back office, go and check your back office so that you understand why we're getting excited. We are not going to let the cat out of the bag. You go to your back office.
Sure, everybody should know that by now, sis. All right, guys. Thank you. Love you much, and see you at 4 p.m. Thank you.